everyone, my name is Cece and welcome to my first video ever. So I thought for my first video I would do the Booktube newbie tag because that's what everyone else does. I just feel like it's a good introduction for a Booktube channel because you answer all the questions and people know about you. Okay, cool. Let's start. So question number one, why did you start your channel? There are multiple reasons. The first one being the pandemic, I guess. I just needed a new hobby, something just new, something to work towards, something to like learn how to do and to occupy my time. This seemed like something that would be really fun and exciting, but also challenging. Reason number two is that I just love to read. I love to read, and I don't really have that many people like in real life that read as much as I do, also read the same books that I do. The third reason is that I've been watching Booktube videos for like forever, since like 2013. It's been a really long time, and like most of the books that I've read are because of like YouTube videos, and you know, things get recommended and I'm like, oh yeah, I want to read that, right? So like, yeah, I've read so many books because of Booktube. Watching the videos, I feel like, is a big part of like my reading. I've just always wanted to be a part of the community. Like I've always wanted to participate in certain things, but I felt like I couldn't because I didn't have a channel. And so yeah, I've just been around this space for like a really long time, and I feel like, you know, it's finally time to just like put myself out there and like do this. I think, you know, as a kid I always thought YouTube channels were really fun, and I have a lot of opinions and I want to share them, so that's why I'm doing this. Reason number two, what are some fun and unique things that you can bring to Booktube? Honestly, I'm not really thinking about like how to be unique. I'm hoping that the longer I do this, the more creativity will come out, and then, you know, uniqueness will just come naturally. I feel like if I think too much about like trying to be creative and different, I'm gonna get stressed out and then like not ever gonna post anything because I will just overthink it. Question number three, what are you most excited for your new channel? I'm just really excited to make friends. That's like the main thing, but I'm also just excited to explore different like video ideas and topics. Yeah, I'm just looking forward to like having a creative outlet that's, you know, I'm doing it just cuz, and yeah, I just want to post fun videos. Question number four, why do you love to read? I would say the main reason is escapism. I think there are moments in my life where I've definitely used reading as like a coping mechanism, and it's just fun. It's fun to be in a different world that isn't this one. And I've, you know, because I've been reading for so long, I think I've really grown to appreciate the art of writing. So I love when I read a book and everything's just like good. Like the characters are good, the plot is good. I love pretty sentences. Yeah, like I love when I read a sentence and it just like makes me stop and I'm like, ooh, that was nice. I love stories. I mean, it's just fun, right? Reading is like watching TV for me. Also, I think reading is just super important. Like everybody should read. I think everybody has the capacity to like love reading. It just, you know, it expands your mind and your knowledge of the world, or just like your knowledge on things in general. You just like learn so much when you read, and you get to put yourself in other people's shoes and learn how to be compassionate, which I feel is super important, especially right now. Okay, question number five, what book or series got you into reading? So the book series that made me fall in love is Percy Jackson and the Olympians by Rick Riordan. I read it as a kid, and I mean, the rest is history. Like I just love that series so much. Actually, I wanted to show you guys my first copy of The Lightning Thief. I used to have three, now I only have two. I got the second one because my cousin like stole it from her school library because she was like, oh, I know you love this book, here you go. And then the third copy that I have, I won in a trivia contest at Barnes and Noble. It's like the collector's edition, and it's really dope, and it comes with like this little box that you pull it out of, and it has drawings in it. Love it. But nothing beats my first copy. Here it is. Look at it. It's so beat up. It's so beat up. Oh my god. And like, I love this little book so much. Yeah, this, I just love these characters, and it's just my world, you know? It's what brings me comfort. And every time I read a Rick Riordan book, it doesn't matter what it is, I just feel happy for like a week afterwards. Like, I just feel so happy. They bring me so much joy. Question number 6. What questions would you ask your favorite booktuber? This is like a hard one. I have been thinking about this question a lot. And I don't really know if I have any questions. I feel like Booktube tends to be like a pretty straightforward thing, you know? It's like, what are you doing? Talking about books, you know? Right? And I've been watching these videos for so long, I kind of know like how things go. So I feel like I don't really have many questions right now. But I will say who my favorite booktubers are, or well, I don't know, I love so many because I've been watching so many for like forever. But I would say the two that like have influenced my reading the most, or like I've taken their recommendations, like I've really enjoyed them, are Reagan from Peruse Project and then Sam from Thoughts on Tomes. I've been watching their videos for so long, like since I started watching Booktube, and there's so many series that they've recommended that I'm like, yes, this is like so fun, so good. I think it's because they both read a lot of fantasy, and I love fantasy. Question number 7. What challenges will be the hardest to overcome about having a Booktube channel? I would say just like my own nerves and my own self-doubt, which I feel like doesn't really even necessarily have anything to do with like YouTube in general, but like it's more of like, this is just how I am like in life. I overthink things so much, and that's been a humongous problem for me like within these last few months. I just gotta like jump over that hurdle and just get through it. It's like my biggest worry. Question number 8. When did you start reading? I started reading when I was 10, like heavily reading when I was 10 years old with the Percy Jackson series. I really did not like to read before that at all. It wasn't something that was important, I guess, to me. I do remember in the 3rd grade we read Charlotte's Web and Matilda, and I read Matilda twice because I loved it. I thought, oh, I love Matilda, it's so good. My love for reading really started with The Lightning Thief, which is why it just holds such a special place in my heart. And like, I remember it was like over the summer, like the summer between 4th and 5th grade, and my mom was like, I have a surprise for you. And I was like, ooh, is it pizza? And she pulled out the book, and I was like, what? And like, it took me forever to read it because I like lost the book twice. I kept leaving it at people's houses. It wasn't that I didn't find it interesting, like I definitely did, I just didn't want to read. I was like, I'd rather like play outside or watch TV or something. But I remember, and like, I'm never gonna forget this, I remember the exact moment in the book when I just couldn't stop reading, and it was the part where they fight Medusa. And like I said, it's not like the other parts weren't interesting. It's not like I wasn't engaged, because I like remember reading this book for the first time pretty vividly. I feel like goes to show that I was paying attention. Question number 9. Where do you read? I will read anywhere you put me. Before the pandemic, I was always like out and about. When I was in high school, I would read just like anywhere. Like I would read a lot on BART, the train system that we have in the Bay Area. I had an internship, right? So like I would get out of school Tuesdays and Thursdays at like 10:30 or whatever, and I'd have my internship at 2 o'clock. So it's like I have all this time to kill. So I would go sit at cafes, sit at a park bench, but because like I can't go outside, I usually read in bed or like on a couch. I will read literally anywhere. I know people have like certain places where they like, you know, prefer to read, but I really don't have a preference at all. I will read standing up. Question number 10. What kind of books do you like to read? My favorite genre is fantasy, specifically young adult fantasy. I'm only saying that because I haven't really read much adult fantasy. I read some, but I have more that like I own that I want to get to and am really excited about. But I love young adult fantasy so much. I think it's so fun. Sometimes a little bit easier to read, for the most part, a little bit easier to read. I also feel like it's easier for me to connect with characters who are closer to my age. I mean, now I'm like not a teenager anymore, I'm almost 22, but you know, it's closer in age to me like an 18-year-old in like, you know, this fantasy series, or like some 35-year-old dude, you know, like, so I definitely feel like I have more connection to like young adult fantasy. I also, okay, I have read mostly young adult, right? You know, a lot of the books that I've read, I've heard about from Booktube, and what's popular on Booktube, young adult fiction. So that is a majority of what I've read. I really like coming of age stories, usually ones that are a little bit more serious. I don't really read like light fluffy contemporary. That's just not really something that I'm interested in. Yeah, those are ones that I really like. A few that I've read recently, We Are Not Free by Tracy Chee. That's just like one example. I loved that book so much. I thought it was so good. Monday's Not Coming by Tiffany D. Jackson. I really liked that one too. I'm really into this, like, I'm on the hunt for like good witch books. I'm really into witches, the aesthetic, the idea, you know, I love magic. So I've been reading a lot of those. I really love historical fiction. It's not something that I've read a lot of yet, but it's a genre that I really want to get more into because I love history. Yeah, that's mainly what I like to read. Okay, that's the end of the video. How exciting. Like, comment, subscribe, I guess. Bye-bye.